Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us. This is the open office hour for the Florida Library Delivery Service. I'm here with staff from TBLC, Annie Fernandez, Jim Walther, and Kira Smith. And we have a short agenda to go over. And then we'll open it up to questions. So we're going to look at the statistics for this past year for the Florida Library Delivery Service. We're going to talk about additional handling fees. TBLC is, excuse me, TBLC is going to talk about the annual invoice, and at the same time, I'm going to talk about the state contract that we're using. Then we'll go over claims. Then we'll go live and look at the FedEx Ship Manager and all the changes that we've been seeing there. And TBLC will take it over and go through their website. And then we'll open it up to questions. So the first thing we wanted to talk about were our statistics for this past year. So last year, October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024, we spent about $896,000. These all come in as weekly invoices, and you can see the breakdown of how many packages were sent and how much those weekly invoices look like. Last year, libraries sent 147,839 packages, and last week's invoice alone had 2,593 packages on it, and it was $16,184.71. You'll see up at the top that a lot of that 896,000 went to surcharges. Those surcharges are fuel, high demand. So at certain times in the year, the package price will be a little more. And declared value. And DLIS allows you to declare a value up to $500. So we cover those fees up to $500. So these three surcharges, fuel, high demand, and declared value, are factored into the average package price that we that is reflected in your annual invoices. Surcharges can also include additional handling. So the average for that is around $24.50. Address corrections, those average around $22.50. And we'll talk about these two on the next slide. Another surcharge we see a lot is residential surcharges. I'm able to dispute those all of the time. So when I dispute something, FedEx reimburses us, and when I get the check, I roll the refund back into the pot. The thing that makes me chuckle about these residential fees is that it's usually for the State Library of Florida. So when someone sends us a package, our driver somehow changes it from a business to a residence. I'm obviously able to dispute those matter-of-factly. So the next thing we wanted to talk about were the invoices. I'm sorry. So we're still talking about the additional fees. So the address changes, like I said, they're about $22.50 each. And so be sure to use the FedEx address book. That's in the FedEx Manager. That is the address book that is managed by TBLC. If you have an item where the address on the paperwork that came with the item is different from the address that's in the FedEx address book, use the one that's in the address book. If you are really not sure that's the one you should be using, contact that library or contact TBLC. Because each time you change an address, there's a potential that we incur a fee, and if I'm not able to dispute that fee, it will be passed on to you either directly through TBLC or it's going to be factored into the average price when we have to change the average price. So we do know that FedEx surcharges will be changing on January 6, 2025. And at that time, an address change is going to go up to $24. There was a period of time in the FedEx address book where you were seeing 2 addresses for some locations. That has been fixed. That was just an issue of the FedEx address book is the one that's maintained by TBLC. That's called the Central Address Book. And then some of you were also seeing a personal address book, but I believe that has been fixed. But if you're still seeing that, let us know. So additional handling fees also are incurred for incorrect packaging. I'm able to dispute some of these, but not all of them. So for example, last week, I disputed 2 that were obvious mistakes. One was a 12-pound package that FedEx scanned as being 85 inches by 7 by 1. That's a weird package. The other was a 1-pound package that was scanned at 64 by 4 by 1. Again, I know a library is not sending something that size. The ones I can't dispute, though, are over by just a touch. For example, 13 by 19 or 20 by 15. So just make sure your packaging measures up to that 18 by 13 by 5. One thing I have been seeing a lot more of recently is shipping exceptions. You can see these as well. If you track your package and you see something that says shipping exception, that usually means there's going to be an additional fee on your package. Usually it is because a package has too many barcodes on it and FedEx has to relabel it. For example, one package, I forget who contacted us, but one package was lost and we finally tracked it down and it was in Kentucky. So I had to ended up placing a claim for it and I'll send a replacement to the owning library. But it ended up in Kentucky because there were so many labels on it that FedEx got confused. So if you are reusing packaging, please make sure to remove any old labels or cover up any old barcodes. If FedEx has to relabel your package, we'll get an additional handling fee. Okay, and then the final one, and I don't see a lot of this anymore, is a weight limit. Just please make sure your packages weigh less than 50 pounds. If it's over 50 pounds, there will be a fee. So the next thing on our agenda is I'm gonna turn it over to Annie Fernandez at TBLC to talk about invoices, but then when it comes back to me, I want to talk about the state contract that we're using for FedEx services. So Annie, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning. This is Annie Fernandez from TBLC, as Kathy has already mentioned. Just to start off, we are currently working on sending out our annual participation fee invoices, which is your first and main invoice, which we have agreed upon previously using the numbers that Kathy generates to tell you how much you need to, what your portion of participating is. We, throughout the year, send out multiple invoices. The first one is a participation fee. And then the second one that we send out is, last year we sent it mid-year, which is an overage invoice. An overage invoice is basically, if you go over the initial amount that you agreed upon, you will be charged at the full amount that we are charged by FedEx. I'm sure you've seen it many times because we have explained it over and over in different emails, but if you need further explanation, I can also have a conversation with you to explain it once you receive those. We're trying to avoid those, which is why we like everyone to kind of do a good estimate on what they think they're going to be sending. Those invoices that we have the participation, like I said, some of them have already gone out and we're working to get the rest of them out by the end of the week. If you don't receive your participation invoice for this upcoming year, please email me at tblc.org and I will see what's going on with your invoice. And I think that's about it for invoices. Kathy?
Okay. So let's talk about the contract that we're using, and I want to share as much as I know. So if you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand or put a question into chat. So when the Florida Library Delivery Service transitioned to FedEx, we announced that if you overpaid in 1 year, it would be rolled over into the next year. Since this project uses annually appropriated grant funds, though, we have realized that this model is unsustainable for future years. However, we are honoring the statement in the year 24-25. So this year, DLIS is absorbing close to $40,000 in courier cost. We have recently contacted some libraries that have overpaid to let them know that their upcoming invoice that TBLC will be sending out has been reduced. For libraries that will be hearing from TBLC about any overages, like Annie just mentioned, please note that we have looked back to see if you overpaid in the previous year, and we have deducted that from your overage total. We know that the annual package price going up each year is frustrating, so I wanted to talk a little bit about why it goes up. DLIS and TBLC use the state of Florida's Courier Services state contract, which is based on a Utah negotiated contract, and that's what you see on the screen here. This contract allows us to see close to a 50% discount on FedEx shipping costs. For example, I created a fictional label for a 2-pound package from Charlotte County to West Florida. And when I was logged into our contract, that package price was $6.26. When I created the same label as a guest user, the price was $14.45. Even on contract though, the package price fluctuates depending on where you are in the state, the time of year, and fuel charges. The package price on last week's invoice ranged from $41.50 to $5.19. So keep in mind that this includes the residential fees that I talked about and the 2 oversized packages that I disputed and FedEx sent me checks for, and I rolled that back in. So this is why we use an average package price. Every year, as costs increase for everyone, FedEx is allowed to slightly adjust the pricing on the national contract. As we went into 2023, there was a national contract increase of 8.5%. In January 2024, there was a 7.5% increase. As I mentioned a couple of slides back, we are aware that there will be an increase to FedEx surcharges on January 6, 2025, but we're not sure what the overall contract increase will be. Since our fiscal year for delivery service started this month, and we don't know what the official percentage price will be, we had to make an educated guess as to what the average package price would be. In 2023, the year 2023 to 2024, the average package price was $5.91. This year, 24 to 25, the average package price is $6.21. That's only a 5% increase. And remember, the division pays 67% of that average package price. So the price that you see is more like $2.05. We're going to try to keep any increases you see as low as possible, but we do need your help. Help us try to keep costs down by avoiding incurring some of those fees, such as address changes and incorrect packaging. Also, claims. If you have a damaged or missing package, please file a claim with me, and I will file a claim with FedEx to recoup our cost. Once FedEx fills the claim, they send me a check for the item and the shipping charge, and that money goes back into the pot and brings down the average package price. And also, once the claim is filed, we will send you a replacement for that item. And that claim form can be found on the TBLC website, which Annie will show you a look later on. So a lot of what we're talking about all throughout these slides came from your responses to the survey that TBLC sent out this summer and the questions and comments that came in as people registered. A comment that came up a lot is that it would be nice if you could ship out of state. That would be nice, but it really is cost prohibitive. DLAS just can't cover 67% of everything that you ship. So we do ask you to only ship using the FedEx account that we have issued, only ship to other accounts in the state. So the state contract that you see on the slide can be used by other governmental entities. if you are interested in opening up a second FedEx account so that you can ship out of state, you should be able to. If anyone needs any help with how to use that contract, they can certainly reach out to me and I'd be happy to help. So let's go talk about claims a little more in depth. So claims should be filed using the form that is on the TBLC website as soon as possible. Claims can be filed by the shipping library or the recipient library. It's not restricted to anyone. If you received a damaged package, you may not be the owning library, but since you have the item in hand, you should go ahead and place the claim. If you notice that a package is taking a long time to get to its destination, go ahead and file a claim. Once the claim is placed and you are not the owning library, I will notify the owning library that a claim has been placed on their behalf and send them a replacement item. We do ask that you file your claim within 55 days of the ship date to ensure that the division is able to place the claim with FedEx within their required time, which is 60 days. If a claim is not filed in a timely manner, we won't be able to recoup the cost from FedEx, and we won't be able to compensate the owning library for the missing item. Remember, the borrowing library assumes responsibility for any borrowed material from the time it leaves the supplying library until it has been returned and received by that supplying library. So both sides need to be vigilant and get those claims filed as soon as possible. If a successful claim has been submitted, the division will send the owning library a replacement for that item. A couple of comments that came in through the survey and registration were about extending the time for the claim. That's not possible. FedEx dictates the time for the claims, not the division nor TBLC. If I don't get the claim filed within 60 days, FedEx is going to deny it, and then we will not be able to reimburse anyone. So it's really up to you to track your packages. Another comment that came in that we've seen a lot is that it would be nice for the division in TBLC to send out monthly statistics reports or monthly tracking reports. That's just not possible either. We have over 200 active accounts, and that means thousands of transactions a week. Each time I try to run a report like that with FedEx, they just stop. It's just so much data that I can't get a report for that. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. Within FedEx, you can see your packages for up to 60 days on advanced tracking. And when we go live, we'll go take a look at that. But probably just as useful a way to do that is to watch your request manager in whatever platform you are using, be it FlintShare or OCLC. If something is sitting in your your shipped or return queue for a while, you might want to reach out to that library to see if the item was really shipped or if it may be lost in the mail. So now let's go take a look at the ship manager. Let me go. I'm going to show you my screen. Okay, so everyone should be seeing FedEx. Annie or Kira, do you see FedEx?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, thanks. I've done these things before where I've talked and talked and talked, and then someone's reminded me we're not seeing anything. Okay, so I am going to log out of my account and I'll log in as the State Library. Oops. Okay, and we will go to Ship Manager. So according to the FedEx website, they have retired the old version of Ship Manager, and most of you are probably seeing the new version. So we'll focus on that. One of the biggest differences is that you're able to choose from two views. You can choose between comfortable view, which guides you step by step. So right up here in the corner, click on views, and then let's look at the comfortable view. And this really does take you through step by step. So let's start creating a shipment. And then step by step. So let's go back. I'm going to get out of this and show you the second view. Maybe. Okay. And then the second view that you have access to, and the one that I use most often, and I think my staff use this most often too, is the compact view, which provides you everything in one glance. Another change that you might really like is how you can print your labels. So instead of printing labels one at a time, you can click on the drop down next to finalize and create multiple labels. So let me go ahead and create a few. And I am going to, another thing that my staff do, and I do too when I send out replacement items, is I add a note, a shipping reference. So I'm just going to add a note to tell myself that this is a test shipment. And then scroll down and click on the drop down button and finalize and create a new shipment. So now I can create another label. I'm going to add my note to let myself know that this is something I need to delete. And then I'll finalize. And I'll create just one more. And as you're doing this, as you're creating a label, please pay attention to the library that the address that you're sending it to. If you notice, I am typing in the library's code. That code is unique to that library. If you type in something like Northwest, you're going to get a lot of options. And if you're trying to go fast or get distracted, you might click on the wrong address. So just pay attention and try to use that code that we've assigned to each library. My reference. And I'll finalize. Okay, so now to see all of those labels, so I could print one at a time right here, which is what we're all used to, but you can also go up to shipments. And so here are my 3 test labels, and they have not been printed yet, but if I want to print them, I'll just select them and then print documents. And it should, there are my 3 labels right there. So that's a little bit of a time saver. You can also use this view, the shipment view, as another way to track your packages. This view does only show you that a shipping label has been created and whether or not it has been printed or not. But you can also always click on the tracking number to get the status. So let's go ahead and cancel these labels. So they're already selected, and I'll cancel them. And this is something interesting. So if your library does not have a regularly scheduled pickup, meaning that FedEx comes on certain days of the week, whether or not you have something, you are probably creating labels and creating your pickups at the same time. So don't forget to cancel your pickup if you've created a label that you're going to cancel. So let's go ahead and cancel the 3 that we just created. And they should disappear. Yeah, they disappeared. So going back to the pickups, if your library is scheduled for a regularly scheduled pickup and you want to change to being able to create pickups as you go or as you create labels, please contact TBLC. There is a form that we need to fill out. And then the reverse, if you currently create pickups or schedule pickups as you create a label, but you want to go back to a regularly scheduled pickup, contact TBLC and we'll fill out that form. Keep in mind though, FedEx will only do that if you have packages to pick up 90% of the time. So if your volume is not 90% of the week, they'll probably want you to stay on the schedule of pickup as you create label. Another question that came in through registration is, how can I get confirmation that my package was delivered? So that's something that you can do through here, through your Ship Manager. To do that, click on Shipment Profiles. I've already set up one, but I'll show you how to set it up. Click on Create Shipment Profile. And then we're going to name it. So since I had a notifications, I'll do notifications 2. Then go down to notifications. Add your email address. So I am shipping a package. I want to be notified when that package has been delivered. So click on shipper email address. Type in your email address. And then here, just select the box for shipment has been delivered. I'm also going to select delivery exceptions. So what this is going to do is this is going to tell you if there are any exceptions. If you've shipped a box or a package with too many labels on it and FedEx has to relabel it, then you'll get an email to let you know that that happened. So go ahead and save this profile. And there's my new notification or my new profile. So we'll go to Create Shipment. And then right up here is where you can create or select your profiles. So now my email address is down there. It is a valid email address, so I'm not sure why it's saying that, but oh well. So if you want to default to this shipment profile, go back to Shipment Profiles. Oops. Okay, click on your notification and then set it as your default profile. So now when I go to create a shipment, my email address should be there. Why is it not there? Okay, let's try that again. I'll try the 3 dots. So it says it's the default profile. Create shipment. Well, it does work. I mean, I have practiced this many times in the past few days. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but it does work. And if you try it and it's not working for you, please feel free to reach out to us. You can also add email addresses for the recipient. So for example, when I ship out my replacement items for claims that have been filled, I'll put in the ONI Library's email address and I'll probably notify them that a label has been created. Okay, so let's look at advanced tracking now. So we'll go up to tracking, and then we're going to go to advanced shipment tracking. Okay. So as I said earlier, this view will show you shipments for the past 60 days. And I knew that, but I didn't really know why I knew that. So, but if you click on Get Help, it will tell you in here. I'm tracking for the last 60 days. Please realize if you look at the Get Help that a lot of what you see is for customers that may have additional needs than we do. So you can manage this dashboard. So if you want to see when something is out for delivery, you can. If you want to see that something has been, a delivery has been attempted, you can. But the one that you really need to be aware of is the exceptions. If you see something with this little exclamation point by it, that means something needs to be investigated and you probably need to file a claim for it. You can export all of this information. You can change your views. I have a simplified view right here by ship date. And again, this just to get another plug-in for the references. This is how my staff keeps track of what they have been sending out. And this is good because if there is an exception, this might be a quick way for you to see what was in that package. So that's really all I wanted to show you on FedEx Ship Manager. So now I'll turn it over to Annie at TBLC so she can show you some things on their website, and then we can open it up for questions. So Annie, let me give you control. Okay, so Annie, you should have it now.
Okay. Let us just give me a second. All right. All right. Can you see my computer?
I'm not seeing it. It says we're waiting to view Annie Fernandez's screen.
Okay. Let's see.
Now I'm seeing it.
Now you see it? Okay, perfect. All right, let me just. All right, so just want to welcome you to our tblc.org new website. We had our website redone and it looks much nicer and it's a lot easier to get around. Just an overall, here we have programs and services. And if you're looking for things for Florida Library Delivery Services, you could just click on here. Or as a shortcut, you could just go down here. And it'll bring you to this page, which is the page we're going to focus on today. If you have at any point any questions, don't know who to contact, you can always email us at tblcdelivery@tblc.org and someone will get back to you for whatever reason it is. We also like you to, whether it's a delivery issue, anything with weather, or just any type of support that you may need. And when you're on this website, if you, in case you don't know what the FedEx website is, you could just click on here and it'll take you to the FedEx website, which Kathy went over. Here we have the delivery manual. The delivery manual is not a step-by-step on how to do a delivery. It's more of a guideline showing you and telling you exactly how and what you should or should not do when it comes to delivery. You can download this manual and print a copy if you need it, or save it on the desktop. We also mailed out a few copies to libraries, and if you need, the best thing to do is just come on here on the website to find it, because it is the most up-to-date information on here. The other things we have, quick links here, are participating libraries. Here, this is a directory. You can just go in here and go ahead and find any library you're looking for. It'll give you the up-to-date email and names that we may have on each library. You can go ahead and you get more details here. You can search on the search menu over here by just typing in any library and it will come up. You can type in a name and the name will come up of everyone on here. So it'll be easy. It's pretty easy to use, very user-friendly. Back to this page here, we have the claim form. This is the claim form that Kathy was talking about. You will find this link in a few places. You can find it in the delivery manual as well as here. And I'm just going to click on it so you can see what it looks like. It's very basic. It's very simple. If you have any questions, email Kathy, or you can call her, or you can call us here at TBLC, and we will be helpful. We will be willing to help you with anything you may need. Just basic tracking number and all the details that we need. Again, as Kathy mentioned, please fill this form out within 55 days of the claim, because if we wait too long, FedEx will not reimburse us for anything that they are responsible for. Back here, we have a list of recommended supplies. And I'm going to go into this so I can explain a little more here. These are some recommended supplies. You do not have to use the supplies, but we do need you to follow the guidelines on sending packages so that we don't have any additional handling fees. Here in this link, we also have more information on what the criteria are so that we don't have to pay. And here it's all detailed on the size, weight, the package type, and all the details that you may need. Now we're going to go back here. I'm going to skip this one very quickly. I'll go back to TBLC mailing list in a minute. Here we have delivery FedEx training videos. Now, in the survey that we sent out this year, we got a lot of feedback on more training is needed, and it's something we're going to be working on in this upcoming year. But for now, if you click on this, and we have a few tutorials here, and I'm just going to focus on these two in the bottom. These are the most up-to-date tutorials that we have, and you can just go in them and take a look at them. And if you have more questions, please let us know. One of them is on delivery statistics, and the other one is creating a shipment. Just very quickly on delivery statistics, if you need statistics more than the past, 60 days, I believe you have, you will not be able to find it on FedEx. That is something we cannot change. That's a FedEx limitation. You can ask us and we can individually pull up details for you and run a report. We cannot run a report every month for everyone because, as Kathy said, we have a lot of libraries involved. So we are unable to process all those reports. But if we need to pull individual library report, we can go ahead and do that. You can just contact us and we will get the information you need. As far as how to create shipment, this is something I'm going to mention, and I believe Kathy briefly mentioned it as well. Take a look at it if you're not sure how to do things. One big thing that comes up a lot, and it comes up a lot in people having issues with this, and I'm going to just go back very quickly. It has to do with our contact information for the libraries. If you use the wrong address book on FedEx, you will not have the most up-to-date information. Some people have a personal address book added to their account, which is sometimes a replica, but it doesn't update. The only one we update is the main one for FedEx. So if it comes up as your personal one, do not use that one. That one does not get updated when TBLC updates the address. The last thing I'm going to mention on here for the quick links is the TBLC mailing list. If you're interested in joining our mailing list and you're not part of it, just put in your information here and click on the email list you want to be added to, and we will add you to that mailing list. The other thing we have here, delivery support. If you go down, right here on the left-hand side, we have frequently asked questions. And basically, as you can see, how to use the new FedEx Ship. And then here are some answers. So you can go ahead and click on these. Type in the question. Someone may have already asked that question. We have already, we have replies for it. So please take a look at that. If that's not, doesn't give you the answer you're looking for, you can always come here on your right-hand side and just write in a question and put in this information, submit your questions, and we will gladly get back to you. Again, you can always email tblcdelivery@tblc.org, which is right here. At any time, we can also answer any questions you may have. Another thing that you can have, we have an AI tool here, an AI tool. And basically, you could just come in here and you can type a question. And these are already generated answers. If this tool cannot give you the answer you're looking for, it will direct you so that we can get an email and we will be able to answer your question from there. Someone will be able to answer the question for you. And that's pretty much a quick overview of the TBLC website.
Annie, could you mention the videos that Kara just did?
Sure, I'll go back to that. Again, go into the delivery website and delivery link, and then go down here to delivery FedEx training videos. And here you have the two. You have the FedEx delivery statistics, how to, and then here are the how to create a shipment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And that's about it.
Okay, well, the timing has been a little off and we talked a lot longer than we thought we would. So there's not much time, but I'm here. I have nothing planned for the next hour. So I'm here. If there are any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put them in the chat panel. And if you'd like, raise your hand and I can unmute you. Whoever raised their hand, I'm sorry, I lowered your hand before I saw who it was. So if you please raise your hand again. Okay. Camille, you are self-muted. If you would like to unmute yourself. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself now. No? Okay. You should be unmuted now. Camille, we can't hear you. Okay. Claire? You should be able to unmute yourself. I am sorry about that. I'm trying to unmute everyone and it's not working. So please add your questions to the question panel. And I heard someone. And I do have a few questions that came in through registration while we're waiting. One of them is, how will we know a library's post-storm status? TBLC keeps up to date with that, and they should have notices on their website. Also, if a library is closed after a storm or just closed for a period of time in general, they should have contacted TBLC and they will be removed from the address book. Another question that came in is, we would like to have a contact name, a name of a person or an email at FedEx to communicate about library closures for pickup and delivery. Well, actually, there are two issues there. So if your library is closed for pickup or delivery, again, contact TBLC and we'll take you out of the address book. But also, FedEx does not offer a easy way to contact customer support. They have a 1-800 number that you are welcome to call. But the only live person that I deal with is the worldwide FedEx account manager. And as you can imagine, since he's in charge of worldwide accounts, I cannot give out his contact information to for customer service. So please reach out to TBLC or me, and we'll be happy to help you. And that's it for the questions that came in through the registration. Again, I am sorry. It looks like you are all unmuted. And I'm not seeing any questions in the panel. Wait. Yes, I am. So Claire asks, when libraries close for storms, are you removing them from the FedEx address book? Or is there another way that we should get that information? We've had some packages returned recently. If the libraries are closed for storms, so for example, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, FedEx will attempt to redeliver packages. If they try to redeliver and you are still closed, the package might be returned to sender. So please, I know with hurricanes you can't anticipate closures, but if you are able to anticipate that you're going to be closed for a while, please let TBLC know so they can remove you from the address book. We did have a instance where a library was during Hurricane Milton, a library in Central Florida, a couple days before Milton hit, sent a package to a library right in the path of Hurricane Milton. FedEx did not attempt to redeliver that, so I contacted the worldwide rep and I verified that FedEx is supposed to attempt redeliveries. And he asked me to remind everyone that FedEx is also in the path of these hurricanes. So please just keep in mind that depending on the level of severity in certain areas, they may have issues as well. So if a package gets returned to you, just try again. Let's see. Are there any ways to just decrease shipping costs depending on what days of the week shipments go out? Or is the price of a shipment based only on package weight and distance to where it is being shipped? There's not a way to decrease costs based on the day of the week. It's the time of the year. So around holidays, around the end of the year, FedEx is going to attach not an additional high demand surcharge. There's really nothing we can do about that. So just if you have to ship a package, ship that package. Don't worry about the time of year. We will, that increased cost will be factored in the average package price. Is there a way to access the PDF reports as they have been in the legacy version? Sarah, I'm not exactly sure what kind of reports you're talking about, so I'll reach out to you after this to follow up with you. Well, we receive a recording. Yes, this is being recorded. So as soon as I get the recording and can clean it up a bit, we'll be sending it out. Are all of the libraries that use Flynn also using FedEx? I believe so. Because I manage, I'm sorry, Carlene, are you talking about Flynn, the Florida Library Information Network, or Flynn Share It, our resource sharing platform? If you're talking about Flynn Share It, yes, all of the Flynn Share It libraries use FedEx delivery. If you're talking about the Florida Library Information Network, where libraries agree to lend materials to each other at no charge, I think there might be a few that are not using FedEx. Where do we put in the FedEx shipping label where the FedEx employees can pick? Camille, I will reach out to you after this and show you, but Camille is asking about instructions to the FedEx drivers. I believe when you're creating a label, you can put in instructions, but I have never done that before, so I'll have to look into it. As just someone who is confirming, thank you for the reminder to be careful when choosing an address. We have had a few things, not for us, arrive that we had to forward on. Yeah, so please try to use that code. I mean, the code is the best thing to use when creating an address. And yes, Carlene was asking about Flynn Share It. And yes, all the Flynn Share It libraries do use FedEx, the Florida Library Delivery Service. And as new libraries are coming on board, we are encouraging them to join the delivery service. Okay, so those are all of the questions that have come in so far. And again, I apologize for not timing this to give us a little more time for questions, but if anyone has any questions, please reach out to TBLC Delivery at tblc.org, or you can contact me. I deal mostly with the billing statistics side. Okay. See, this morning I was creating a shipment for several returns and had pop-ups with questions about addresses or libraries. What kind of pop-ups were you having? But Sarah, I have you down as someone I need to reach out to after this, so we can talk about this as well. She says it has had a desired address and a requested address. I have never seen that. The next time you see it, could you maybe grab a screenshot and send it to us? Yes, I'm not sure what's happening with the FedEx address book, why we're sometimes seeing two, but we can, if you can grab a screenshot, that would be great. Helen asked, in light of the increased cost of shipments around the holidays and higher chance of packages being lost, should we hold off on shipping returns when feasible? That's really up to you. I know some libraries would generate a huge backlog. But if you're able to do that, you might want to consider doing that. But again, we're going to try to keep costs as low as we can. So if you need to ship something, go ahead and ship it. Yes, it looks like Harleen is having the same problem with the pop-up. Just screenshots. I always like screenshots. Are we still going to be charged for DAS by FedEx? DAS, I forget what that actually stands for, but something like delivery area service or something. There are some zip codes within the state that their delivery access surcharge, that is some zip codes within the state, just their package charge is slightly higher. For example, if I here in Leon County send a package to Franklin County, which is just right down the street, that package might cost maybe $9, where if I sent the same package to Osceola County, it might cost $8, or I'm sorry, $6. So it's, yeah, that's we can't do anything about that. So don't worry about that. Is it possible for you to reach out to FlintShare regarding putting the FedEx code on the Bookstrap form? Well, I don't know if I can do that, but I have been FedEx, our Autographics, the vendor behind Share It, has been working with FedEx to try to implement API, I think, so that we can incorporate the FedEx labels in FlintShare It, or make it easier for FlintShare It libraries to generate FedEx labels. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but I know Autographics is nearing the end of their work with FedEx, so we should be seeing something soon. And as soon as I hear anything about that, I will let all the FlintShare It libraries know, because that's really exciting. Okay. And I think I've addressed all the questions so far. And it is 12:15, so I am going to, and my stomach is rumbling, so it's lunchtime. So I am going to go ahead and end the webinar. I want to thank everyone for attending. And again, if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, thank you.